of despair, where tortoises roam. She's lost in the garbage without a home. Lonely child by his side, in the filth they stay. Her misery deepens with each passing day. You are not a nice person, she screams in the night. A bitter echo in the moon's pale light. In this wasteland of sorrow, she's trapped in her pain, living her life in hell where the tortoises reign. Haunted by shadows in this garbage-filled land, she yearns for escape, but she can't understand. Trapped in her torment, she cries out in fear. In this dump of misery, she sheds a lone tear. Amongst piles of refuse, she searches for hope, but all she is an outhouse. Her shower is a hose on a rope. With each passing hour, her spirit grows weak in this wretched existence with only tortoises to speak. You are not a nice person, she screams in the night. A bitter echo in the moon's pale light. In this wasteland of sorrow, she's trapped in her pain, living her life in hell where the tortoises reign. Haunted by shadows in this garbage-filled land, she yearns for escape, but she can't understand.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing it with, however good it feels, and however many times you're going to do it and why you're doing it in the first place. I don't care. I am just glad that you are here with me right now on this little old channel we call Legal Vices. Hi, I'm Jeff, aka Legal Vices. That's how the channel naming works. And we are back with the What the Hales saga. The saga continues. And today, just like any good, successful franchise, we are going for we're going back. We're going back to the origins. We're doing prequels now. we are doing prequels. A long time ago, once upon a time, we did a series called the Judge Grudge origin story, which we thought was the origin story. No. I was sadly mistaken. Today is the orange story. Today is the origin story. We are going back to the rise of the Grudge. That's what we're going to be looking at today. The rise of the Grudge. I know many of you may have seen it directly on the Hales channel. Some of you may have seen it maybe with Tug and MG Law and others that I believe have already covered all of this. But we are going back to day one. Day one, when Lynette Preston, or whatever her name is that she's using at this point in time, the first time she walked into Judge DeThomasis's court and started asking for stuff. So that's what we're covering today. The very, very first hearing. I've watched a few minutes of it. Oh, I've only watched a few minutes of it, I should say, and a little bit concerned by what I've seen. What we know so far of Judge Grudge. I know people call him Grudge Judge, but I like Judge Grudge. It sounds more like your Judge Dredd. It sort of sounds like a supervillain. He's a former law professor. I have a friend that went to the same school where he taught, and that friend talks about how he took classes he may not really have wanted to take just to avoid taking a class where Judge Grudge was a professor. I'm trying to get him on here to burn those bridges and tell us some inside stories. Still not able to lock it in yet. But we do know that he was a former professor. And it shows. He loves to hear himself talk. He loves to teach. He doesn't do so good on actively judging things, but he's a heck of a good lecturer. He loves the lecture circuit. And he complains about the hearings going long and taking forever when they could literally be probably 20% as long as they are if he would just do his job and make rulings on things. But that's not him. He seems to be somewhat predisposed to show perhaps a little bit of favor towards Lynette. That's kind of been established. It's been established to the point that the reason nothing is happening is they're in the middle of having the motion to have him recused, to have him booted off the case is getting itself worked out. That's why there's been no real forward progress on the Florida case here for a while. Yeah, we don't have a ruling yet, as far as I know. I don't know. I don't think there has been. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure we would have heard about it by this point. But before we get going with the main details here, couple of things we got to do. First, the housekeeping stuff. Welcome. We've got 213 people here concurrently and 109 likes. So it's like 100 and I got 218 people here, 208 people here. So there's 99 of you have done. All right, we'll call it 100. 100 of you haven't done your job. The 100 of you that haven't done your job, get down in there and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. YouTube, as I said, is sending me through a time of purging. They're sending me through a time of struggle and doing what YouTube does. They just do it occasionally. And it's not me, it's a bunch of other people. I know at least 4 other people I've talked to today are like, what the heck's going on? YouTube just kind of rips 30, 40, 50, 100 subscribers just for no reason. They just, and you can tell it's not like one person dropping off every hour. It's like, as I mentioned yesterday, I looked at my phone. I went to the bathroom. I can't remember if I went to the bathroom or went to get a drink or whatever it was, but I came back 2 minutes later and like 30 subscribers just vanished. It's just a thing YouTube does. We don't need to harp on it any longer, but hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already done so, I would be thrilled to have your subscription. This is the kind of stuff we do here. And if you have subscribed already, if you are already subscribed to the channel, please just double check. Just reach down there, just look down there and just double check to make sure you're still subscribed. And that should take care of it. Currently, where are we at here? Currently, we are at, should be 66,613 subscribers. Nope. See, look at that. Look at that. Just in 1 minute, 6 subscribers vanished. It's just a thing YouTube does. We've got 77,607 now. So we're pushing our way back up to 77,700. Let's do that. And as part of the deal here, we do the like, subscribe, and vote. For the first time ever, I think we have more likes than we have votes. It's usually people cheat and we have way more votes than we have likes. But it seems like 11 of you haven't voted yet that have hit the like button. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and then vote. What's the theme song for today? What should we call the theme song? I Want a New Judge by Huey Lewis, Master of Tortoises by Metallica, The Shit Shack by the B-52s, or Alice Cooper, No More, Mr. Nice Person. Those are your choices for today. Keith Hancock is suggesting a new poll. Which will happen first? Judge Grudge making a decision, Judge Grudge getting booted off, or Jeff barbecuing his beard and mustache again? That's the person who is responsible for that is no longer in the country. So my beard and mustache are safe. All right, that kind of takes care of the housekeeping stuff. Now we need to talk about how do I want to word this? My handling of the Hales situations. There's a lot of situations out there. Now, those of you that know, this might be a first time for some of you, but I do not care about all of the interpersonal drama stuff. I don't follow it closely. I don't want to follow it closely. What's going on personally between the parties is going on personally between the parties. What I'm interested in is the legal aspects of it. What's going on in the court? What's going on in the motions? What's the actual submitted evidence showing? That's what I'm interested in. That's what we focus on here. So don't get caught up in the drama or, oh, this person lied about this, that person lied about that. Did they lie in court? That's what I care about. So for those of you looking for drama, or maybe even trying to drama farm, that's not going to happen here, because I just personally don't give two whits about who's got cameras pointing at who and who's doing other. I just don't care. I like the legal arguments. That's why we're revisiting it today. The Hales have uploaded the original origin story, the first appearances in court. And those are the things we're going to be looking at, among a few other things. And also, I understand that John Cook has been arrested, something to do with waving firearms about. So we'll cover that as well. And as you may be hearing, the dogs are snoring up a storm here. So if you hear any of the heavy breathing, the snorting, the sniffing, it's not me. It's the two English bulldogs we have sitting here. And all right, I guess that's about it. So if any super chats or anything like that come in, we'll stop, we'll read them, we'll address them. The super chat guarantees that your message gets read, it gets acknowledged, and it gets responded to. I'll try to do my best to keep an eye on whatever else is going on in chat, but that's usually left up to the mods. But if there is something that's important, you want it to be particularly noticed, that's the option you have available to you. So thank you very much for that in advance, if anybody decides that's the route they want to go down. And with that, I guess we really should just get on with the show. And as always, the emotional support potato pig dog cam is unlocked at the $100 level. At $200 level is a shot of particularly bad whiskey, and then we just go on from there if it becomes necessary to do so. All right, let's see what's going on. Wow, it's been a while since we've delved into the courtroom in Florida, in Levy County. That's a phrase that hasn't passed my lips in a while. Levy County, Florida. All right, let's embiggen the video. And I think we might be able to embiggen me as well. There we go. Hi, it's me. All right, we had an Aussie Overlord raid, I believe. Okay. Oh, we got an MG Law sighting. Yeah, blame it on the dogs. Yep, it is the dogs. Did you see the Otter Creek police brutality arrest video? Nope, I have not. And been there, done that. Master of Tortoises, or is your name posing it as a question, Master of Tortoises? I don't see a question mark anywhere. All right. Yes, I have not seen the video. The police brutality video. Arrest video. Jill Adams, I'm not. Are you talking about John Cook's? Or I have no idea even what you're talking about. So I'm sorry for that. If there's something that I need to see, please feel free to send a link to me over on Twitter at the Legal Vices. At Twitter, don't just do Legal Vices. If you just do Legal Vices, that causes a problem. Legal Vices on Twitter is a large female adult entertainment company out of Las Vegas. So you need to make sure it's the Legal Vices at Twitter. Send me a link if it's something that I need to view. So, all right, here we are in the courtroom for the first time in a long time. And we will put the captions up. Put them up there. Why is that? All right. Why is it got a stupid background on it? All right. Stable volume annotation, subtitles, options. Where's the opacity? Background opacity. We need 0. No, 100. No. It says background opacity. Background color. How about? I don't want a background. Come on, people. video over. I don't know why does it have a color thing on it? Stupid thing. All right, we might just have to somehow deal with it. Window opacity. Aha. There we go. Who reset that? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Next up, I've got 38-2023 DR 416 Lynette Preston and Jeremy Hales.
Uh-oh, she's a ghost. There's no one there. She's a ghost. Ah, there she is. All right. Sorry, that was weird.
Good afternoon. If you could just state your full name.
Lynette Preston.
Now, I question whether that is actually her full name. As you would ask, what the heck what is going on? Oh, it's part of this. I just saw this little thing. I'm like, what is that white spot up there? Oh, it's this part of the stripe. All right. Sorry. It's just weird. Yeah, I don't think Lynette Preston is her full name. I know that Michelle is in there somewhere. I know there's like a bajillion aliases. So I actually don't know what her actual real legal on her birth certificate and documents name is.
Ms. Preston, we are here on your case as a order scheduling hearing. As you may have heard, I appreciate your patience as we've worked our way through the docket. We do not have proof of service.
Okay. Well, hey, hi, Jeremy. How you doing? I do not have proof of service. What that means is there's no proof that Jeremy has been served with the legal papers requiring him to appear at this hearing.
And this is the man that says he can get any document anywhere on the planet in court, this judge. And yet he can't get proof of service to me. In Ohio, of all places?
Actually, interstate service can kind of be a pain in the ass, but I mean, a pain in the buttocks. But yeah, it's not that hard, especially if you have the address and all that other stuff. So wasn't able to serve him there. All right.
I remember when I reviewed this petition, there is the possibility that the respondent may be even in another state.
He's in
Yeah.
Ohio right now.
Okay, so he is in another state. The judge knows he's in another state. The fact that she knows he's in another state probably indicates that there's a known address somewhere.
He won't be back till the second Tuesday of October, and I
That's real specific for someone that doesn't care about their neighbor.
told them that at the sheriff's department or at the courthouse. Clerk of court.
I know I'm not the only one that finds it odd that Lynette tells the judge she doesn't watch anything from what the Hales.
That's what I was just saying.
She now knows my complete and total travel schedule.
It's a little odd.
I want to say, oh, wait. Wrong shirt.
Okay.
It is a little odd that she knows his exact weirdly specific schedule.
And so
I provided them with his address there.
Oh, so she did provide the court with his address in Ohio. There shouldn't, like I said, it can be a pain, it can be a burdensome little bit of paperwork and some communications with Ohio judges and whatnot. But it's just kind of a matter of time. So there really shouldn't have been a problem that I can see.
So here's the other thing. First off, I guess the question for you, there's not an injunction that's in place.
No.
And so it would be a hearing to establish if you wish to go forward on it, to seek a final judgment of injunction. And I think it's like 50 or more pages. I read it all, but what you reference in there are video clips that you.
All right. Here, right at this point, when he starts talking about the evidence or the submissions, this is where the hearing should end. This is where it's over. I don't know what we're going to keep talking about for the next 26 minutes, because as you said, he wasn't served. Jeremy was not served, had no obligation to be there. And as the judge, you cannot just have these one-party conversations. Oh, the other party didn't get legal service and may not be aware of this meeting, so therefore we can just talk amongst ourselves. It's incredibly inappropriate to do that. It's called the ex parte communications. The judge communicating with one side and not the other, without the other one's knowledge, without the other side's presence. Those of you that are following the Young Thug trial, that's what derailed that entire trial, was the judge holding a secret meeting with one of the defendants in his chambers without inviting the defense. Things like that generally make the process go very, very badly for the judge. Delisandre, this we're going back in time. This is the beginning of everything. This is her first appearance in court. This is like, if the first hearing was episode 1, this is like episode 0. This is like the first Star Wars. We've had the trilogy. Now we're going back and doing the prequels. This is the prequel here. But yes, there's no other way to say this. He should not be talking about this evidence or anything else. It really should have ended when he said, there's been no proof of service. We need to effect service. Do you have the address? Oh, you already gave it to him. Okay, we will make service on that address, and we will reschedule accordingly. The end. Hit the road, Jack. This is not a thing. And frankly, it's weird that it's happening. But all right, let's see what they talk about inappropriately. Because from here on out, there should be no discussions at all about anything, let alone submissions that are being made.
Feel are relevant evidence. If we come back to court for hearing, you're going to have to make arrangements to play those some way or present those. And you can contact the court administrator's office. And there's ways, we can pull it up on screen, we can pull it up on different screens, but ultimately you can't just hand them to me to look at. It's got to be presented.
No.
Okay, this may not seem like a particularly egregious communication. Talking about, okay, if you decide to go ahead with this, if you actually want the hearings to try to finalize this protective order, this injunction, as it's calling it, you're going to have to make some arrangements for the audio visual. You can't just give it to me and expect me to do it. This may seem like it's not a big deal, but again, it just violates the entire principle of having ex parte communications. And two, he's kind of teaching her the rules, the court rules. As someone who's representing herself, she should be knowledgeable about the court rules. Now, again, we've talked about it many, many times. The court tends to be a little more lenient with people that represent themselves, because although just by virtue of the fact they're representing themselves, they're presumed to have the same level of knowledge as a competent lawyer would. That's just not reality. But you can take that mollycoddling a little far to when it just becomes a general, you need to do this, into teaching them how to do it, showing them how to do it, overlooking it if they don't do it, and things like that. But again, the main part of this entire, and I have a feeling that I'm going to be repeating this a lot over the next 22 minutes, that the judge just flat out should not be having this conversation.
Each witness or the other party gets a chance to see what it is you're presenting, if it's relevant, and to argue against it, whatever. So be aware.
Is transcripts good enough?
I'm sorry?
Transcripts?
Lizzie Bailey, another fool. Remember, birds of a feather flock together. Tried to transcribe all these videos because AI on YouTube, Google transcribes it. And here's the thing.
YouTube's AI sucks.
Transcripts of something that's with AI because it gets it wrong. We've seen Lynette's own text messages where it says rust the sauce. Rust, oxidation on metal, and sauce, goes on pizza. And she meant to say rust the sauce. These transcripts, number one, are not correct.
No.
So number two, they can't be entered in unless they're legally transcribed. And
Yes, there are legal transcription services if that are available. So yeah, you just sort of can't type up your own transcript.
anyway,
Generally
this is
speaking.
a foolish attempt and a waste of time and resources, mostly by Lizzie Bailey.
Transcripts would not be sufficient unless the other side, I mean, there are times when the parties agree that a transcript is an accurate
He has a
presentation
YouTube,
of everything that was stated.
he has a YouTube channel,
No, I know.
and he's doing this monetarily, not only to me.
Oh,
but
sorry,
to
I'm
others.
blocking the view of this
And,
lovely lady.
It's getting to the fact that he is now in my adoption of my daughter. He's trying to overturn my adoption of my baby.
Right, so here's the thing. If he has standing, I don't know that he does.
He doesn't.
Okay. Wait a minute. I'm trying to situate my camera here to find a way that we can all enjoy each other's company. But wow. All right. Looks like we're just gonna have to go with this one. All right. But while I was doing that, there was a lot that was just. I'm sorry. I just choked there. There's a lot that just went on in that brief couple of seconds. Let's go back. I got issues.
Everything that was stated.
He has a YouTube channel,
No, I know.
and
He has a YouTube channel. The judge says, I know. Now, I'm going to completely give the judge the benefit of the doubt that he's just read her pleadings for this injunction, and he hasn't actually gone off the reservation and started Googling and searching and watching the videos. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for that, but it kind of makes your ears perk up a little bit.
he's doing this monetarily, not only to me, but to others. And
I don't even know what doing this monetarily means, by the way. I mean, he's monetized and he's doing it for money. Hate to tell you this, lady, but every television program on planet Earth, every movie, every podcast, every YouTube video that is eligible in all this grand sphere of things is done for the purpose of making money. Every newspaper is printed for the purpose of making money, because that's what people do. So that's weird that she's bringing this up. It makes not a whole bunch of sense, but all right.
it's getting to the fact that he is now in my adoption of my daughter. He's trying to overturn my adoption.
Maybe I'm quibbling here. Maybe it's a semantic thing, but he's trying to he has zero ability to overturn the adoption. He's not a party to it. Now, he can maybe try to undermine the adoption or try to get the kids taken away, hypothetically. But he can't unadopt her children. Maybe she's just misspeaking, but what comes next is wild.
My baby.
Right, so here's the thing. If he has standing, I don't know that he does.
He doesn't.
So here's the judge. Now the judge has again done, not just the fact that he's having this ex parte conversation with her. He's now walking a little bit across the line, I believe, into giving her legal advice. That doesn't happen. Judges are not in the business of giving the parties legal advice. you know, if you've ever watched any videos, you know, whether it's on like on Biggins channel or, you know, or the Squishy Gardener's channel or Law Talk with Mike or any of these other courtroom channels, and you see a defendant or a party representing themselves, they'll always ask the judge, well, what do I have to do this? And the judge will say, I'm sorry, but I'm not allowed to give you legal advice. You'll need to consult with an attorney or come up with an alternative arrangement or something like that. But without fail, well, almost without fail, it hasn't happened here, so I can't say without fail. Almost without fail, judges will very explicitly say, I cannot give you legal advice. I cannot tell you how to do things. That is up to you. So he's walking with like 1 foot over the line here, telling her that I don't know if he has standing, but, and of course, Judge Lynette comes in. Oh no, he doesn't have standing. She doesn't have a clue what that means. She doesn't have a clue what I presume he's saying about legal standing. And he doesn't. How would you know? Come on.
But he's causing that much
Then you can
drama.
have faith that a judge will say, you don't have standing, case dismissed.
You have to have faith that a judge will say you don't have standing and is dismissed. Why does she have to have faith? Why does she have to have faith? The judge knows something we don't know about the evidence. Has there been any evidence regarding standing presented? Surely he couldn't just be accepting her judgment that he doesn't have standing. So this is a highly improper communication that we're watching here. Just worlds without end. This should not be happening.
And I know I'm not minimizing that that's causing you a lot of grief, but have faith, the system will address that. This system, in this limited issue of whether there's an injunction put in place, is going to turn on whether there's competent substantial evidence under the stalking statute and what you're alleging really overlaps with cyber stalking.
Megan Florida says, wait, what? This isn't her attorney? Not yet, but judging by what he's saying here, I think he's about to become her attorney. Now he's talking about the difference between stalking and cyber stalking. And what the case is going to turn on. It hasn't even started yet, and he's already telling her what the case is going to turn on? Really?
Put in place is going to turn on whether there's competent substantial evidence under the stalking statute and what you're alleging really overlaps with cyber stalking. There's very specific statute on it, and there was a change in the law, and it's
all right. Now he is well and truly planting both feet firmly in the side of giving her legal guidance and legal advice. He's telling her which judgment is going to be the controlling judgment in this case. Maybe she doesn't know maybe she knows what the old statute says, but she doesn't know what the old court precedent finds, and she's not aware of this new judgment. Well, he's telling her ahead of time about this new judgment. If she doesn't know about it, or if her lawyer doesn't know about it, that's on them. They have to. It's called shepherdize. They have to shepherdize your cases, and that just refers to there was a dude named Shepard that put together this entire series of books that they just look at cases, and then they look at it just it's probably all online now, but it was actual books in a library when I was in law school. Have a case name, cases that cite to it, cases that support it, and cases that go against it, and it will say whether it's been overturned, and if so, by what case. You have to go through. You have to do the research, not just go, all right, hey judge, what case is the one on point on this? Which case should I be looking at to build my case? Oh, well, you have to look at this new case. This new case just kind of came down the pike here just recently. Let me tell you all about it without the other side here. Yep. Yeah. Tom the man, notice how Jeremy's lawyer is objecting. Wait, well, he can't because he ain't present. DeThomasis has sent Lynette an invoice for his time. Well, see, now this, I'm actually surprised that it's taking the appellate court this long. However, I'm probably thrown off by how fast they're moving here in Springfield right now. Appellate courts can take forever. Basically, just as a guide, you should be planning on a year-ish plus minus for anything to come down out of an appellate court. And if it happens faster than that, get down on your knees and thank the powers that be. But with the non-presence of Jeremy is part of the reason why my thumbnail looks the way it does. This is the thumbnail we made for today. Lynette obviously doesn't have a car because she had to walk really, really far the other day at night along the, like 20 miles along the highway or whatever it was with a stroller. So she's arriving to court here riding on the back of one of her tortoises. So she's a tortoise rider of June here. She doesn't have any sandworms, so she's got to ride the tortoise. And also you'll notice we have the ghost of Jeremy Hales up here in the corner behind the judge's left shoulder behind the sofa. The ghost has a confused look on his face. So that's because, hey, he's a ghost in the courtroom that never got summoned. The judge didn't use the Ouija board to summon the spirit of Jeremy Hales. So the ghost of Jeremy Hales is there going, hey, what am I doing? What am I doing hovering over here? I didn't get any summons. Nobody summoned my spirit. Looney Al-Gaib. That's pretty good. I like that. With the tortoise shit halud. Anyway, so yeah, that's why we have the thumbnail. The confused ghost of Jeremy going, why aren't I in the courtroom? Why aren't I here? So that's just a little thing. Attention to detail. That's what makes this channel great. Attention to detail. All right, let's get back into this. This is just odd. I guess that's why we call it Otter Creek, right? Yeah, I know.
There's been one case, really relevant case, since that change that describes the situation.
For intercourse sake, here he's going full law school professor again. He's not a judge anymore. Right now, he's gone back to teaching at law school. Listen to him give the case history. Listen to him lecture her in a very, very law schooly manner about the controlling case that has just come down the pike.
Very specific statute on it, and there was a change in the law, and by my count, there's been one case, really relevant case, since that change that describes the situation you're talking about.
You all want to say it. It's the Bud Love case, not Butt Love. That would be Crook right now in jail, dropping the soap on purpose.
That's
this
childish,
is the
but funny.
Bud Love
Bud
case.
Love. Of course, that's what we've been calling it.
Major differences between my case and the Bud Love case.
That's what, as I said, it's childish to call it the Butt Love case, but that's what we've all been doing because we might be a little childish. All right. And while we've got this pause here, there's currently 385 people here and 289 likes. So make sure you hit that like button while we're watching this.
In the Bud Love case, there is direct, very, very blatant breaking of constitutional protected speech. There is aspects of inciting different things such as go take that child from them, or literally telling fans and followers, go take this child, go do this and harm this person. Whereas, and what the Hales, all we've
you don't want to do that
is truth. And from the very beginning, even though this has been going on for
Mary Jane, Lynette is the lady that's in court here, that's trying to get. Well, she has it. This is the origin story. This is the beginning. She's at this point in time in the video, she's trying to get a final protective order against the guy that's speaking here, Jeremy Hales. So she's the one at the podium for the defense. Jeremy Hales isn't in court because he didn't get served, which means this whole hearing should not be happening. The judge should have just said, we don't have any proof of service. We're going to have to reschedule. We've got the address for him in Ohio. We're going to have it served on him in Ohio, and we'll reschedule accordingly. Thank you, have a nice day. But no, he's going full legal advisor. He's gone off the reservation, the judge has here.
Well over a year before we showed or talked about any of it, we had always stated, do not contact anyone. These two cases are nothing alike. One case was unprotected speech. My case is complete and total protected speech.
But ultimately, we got to have a hearing, and I got to hear from both sides as to.
Yeah, and you shouldn't be having this conversation. You have to hear from both sides, which means you shouldn't be talking to one side. You talk to both sides, Judge. Here he is talking to a single lone party. He's talking to a single lone party about how he has to hear from both sides of the story. And the irony of this sentence is not impacting here. It's just bouncing pointlessly around inside of his law professor skull.
The purpose of the contact, the legitimacy, whether it's directed at you, all the different various issues that are involved. And so it's kind of close. If you're saying that you have reason to believe he'll be here on a certain day, 2 weeks, or would you say the second
Tuesday of October?
The second Tuesday of October is October 10. We have court on October 11. I don't know that you could give law enforcement the info about specifically on that date where he'll be.
But she's not a stalker, right?
This is Lynette here, Mary Jane. She runs a tortoise rescue across the street from the gentleman there, Jeremy Hales. Just watch my What the Hales playlist from the beginning. That's the only suggestion I have for catching up on this. There's some deep lore here, but you don't have to know the deep lore to see the inappropriate behavior, the unethical behavior, the, dare I say, violation of judicial rules of conduct that's going on here.
They can serve him at the town hall meeting on the 10th. He'll be there. They're filming it.
Okay, so there's a specific place. It's the
Otter Creek Town Hall.
Do you serve on that board?
I ran once and I'll be running again.
The judge is actually asking her this.
Now it is hot AF here in my room. So I'm going to let this play. I'm going to take about 10 steps over into my bedroom and grab a fan. I shall be right back.
Question, because if she's on the town council or has ran for the town council, she's a public figure, and therefore she's opened up to more scrutiny in her life. And it's very hard to say, oh wait, I'm going to get an injunction because I don't like what he's posting about me. She just proves the point. There is no relevancy for an injunction whatsoever. Now, what isn't okay, if you're a public figure, is saying that somebody rapped your daughter.
Okay, so
It's kind of the purpose of this.
you'll be there, but you know he'll be there?
She's caught in a pickle now. She's too ignorant, too foolish to actually understand that the judge is trying to say, if you want an injunction and you know he's going to be there, why in the world would you put yourself there? Therefore, nullifying any need for an injunction.
Well, that's kind of a good point, because part of the injunction orders, you have to be in imminent fear for your safety because of this person, but you're going to be there with this person at a meeting. it as he says, it kind of undermines her entire argument that I'm terrified of the guy. I need this injunction order to prevent him from coming anywhere near me, but we're going to be hanging out together at the town hall meeting here on the 10th. Doesn't provide any strength to her arguments, that's for sure.
I try not to go when he's there.
This is such a huge lie. She prides herself on being so brave and courageous for being there when I'm there. As a matter of fact, Marla, huge.
Mary Jane, did Lynette turn to God? No, she's a preacher. Lynette is actually a preacher. She's an ordained minister, apparently. And she's also a stripper. Yes, there you go, Bush. I'm dead serious. Legal Vices back me up, as I just did. For Mary Jane, Lynette was an exotic dancer / pastor. Yup. Yup. She's a former, I assume former stripper, and maybe she's a former pastor too. I don't know.
Her. Oh, you're going straight
right.
into the battle, into the war that she created.
Okay.
But
Okay. I'm just saying, because what you don't have, and one of my concerns you may have heard me discuss with other people, I don't mind continuing things if there's good cause to continue it, but for those of you that don't have an extension of a temporary injunction, you got to be aware that there's not a court order that's in effect that
I know.
puts that protection in place. And so,
I've had CPS at my house 8 times.
Okay, this is going to be beat a dead horse day here on Legal Vices, because again, the judge would be saying, "I did it." No, just shh. Don't make me put you in a suitcase. Shh. I don't want to hear about it. The respondent is not here. The other party was not served. Just shh. Don't. I'm not going to listen to anything. But that's clearly not what he's doing. She is feeding him information. This is where, if it hadn't started before, I think this is where the bias is coming in to Judge Grudge. This is where the rise of the grudge is happening, I believe. Because he's just getting an earful about what a complete psychotic maniac Jeremy is, stalking her, trying to interfere with her adoption, getting CPS involved. He has minions that are doing things. And the judge is going, well, holy shit, this holy excrement this guy is. This guy's nuts. We need to protect you. Let me tell you how to protect you. So yeah, this ain't good. I think this is where the poisoning of the judicial well is happening. Okay, I was going to say I don't like it, but duh.
Now that he's called 8 times.
What's your evidence he's called 8 times? How do you know he's called 8 times? And Judge, don't you entertain this. Don't you believe this? This ain't your place to even be listening to this, let alone believing it or going, holy cow, what's his reaction to being told something he shouldn't be told and shouldn't be listening to, and it is completely unsupported by any evidence. Well, I wonder what his reaction is going to be.
so if it's a false report, filing a false report to the Department of Children and Families is a crime.
Working on
That's
that too.
that's up to the law enforcement agencies and that agency to report it as a crime. I don't have jurisdiction to hear that. This is a civil matter.
You might want to file criminal charges against him, because I can't do anything about it. But if he's filed these false CPS reports, you might want to talk to the cops about that, wink, wink, because I can't do anything about it, wink, wink. This is a civil court, not a criminal court, wink, wink. This is scummy. Yeah, I thought she was pro se too, but no, apparently she's got the judge on her side here, so don't worry, she's being taken care of. Yeah, this is... because like when I was watching this originally, when I was like back in the day, I was seeing people freaking out about the judge going, oh my God, this is the worst judge ever. Oh my God, he needs to be taken off the case. Oh my God, he's so biased. Oh my gosh, he's got this huge grudge. He hates Jeremy. He loves Lynette. I'm like, okay. All right. Let's find out. Let's find out how bad this guy is. Let's find out what it's all about. So I started watching. And the first actual hearing where Jeremy's in attendance, that actual first hearing, I was watching and thinking, okay, he's not doing that bad of a job. He is giving her a little bit of leeway with her arguments, but like I said, you kind of got to give people acting on behalf of themselves, acting pro se or pro per, whatever you want to call it. You got to give them a little leeway. And so he's not being unfair. He's not giving her extra special attention. And then about 3/4 of the way through the first hearing, I started to go, oh, okay. Yeah, he's the judge is kind of doing some things he shouldn't be doing if he's unbiased, like letting her ramble forever. Jeremy tries to open his mouth, he jumps Jeremy's shit, excrement, and there's like these little cracks start showing, these little bias cracks start showing, and then by the end, he's just kind of gone full rogue judge, and he seems to be firmly in the camp of Lynette Preston here. And I thought, okay, well, that's it. That must be his origin story. We watched the first hearing, so we saw, but now that we're going and watching the prequels, I'm starting to see this is the origin. He should have shut this down. None of this should be going on, but he's just sitting here letting her fill his ears with all kinds of horrible shit that is not substantiated, that isn't proven, that hasn't been in evidence, that there's no corroborating evidence of. And so he's listening to this stuff and he's saying, oh my God, we need to do something about this. Like, yeah. This is the true origins. This, as the thumbnail says, is the rise of the grudge. And the rise of the wombat, just a wombat. Member for 2 months. We're not an Australian wombat. We're just a wombat. Member for 2 months. Thank you so much for being a member for 2 months. And thank you for being the first colored chat of the day.
Phrasing.
Yeah. The first chat of color, the first green chat of the day. He's loving it, so he can introduce new law, RE cyberstalking. He's talked about it for at least 3 hearings or more while Jeremy was there. Yeah. By the time you get through the actual hearings up to date on him, it's clear that he desperately wants to. It's clear that he would not be averse to making some sort of new law. T for 2, member for 3 months. Thank you so much for being a member for 3 months of the Clean and Sober crew. And Taz has also been a member for 3 months of the Clean and Sober crew, just showing my support. Hugs. Well, thank you very, very much for showing your support. All right. Hey, it's good to see all of you monthly member chatters here today. Jeff, you could be Judge Grudge for Halloween. I've got other plans for Halloween. I wouldn't want to do that. All right. And before we jump back in this, we do have been there, done that with the first actual real super chat of the day. We've got the 1 new member and we've got the 1 super chat. So there we all sit. This is the first super chat of the day. Slightly different colored chart. Thank you very much, been there, done that, for kicking us off on the super chat extravaganza. Followed by Just a Wombat taking the lead with 5 Legal Vices memberships. Just a Wombat has gifted 5 Legal Vices membership. If you are CRC Duster, Claire A. Richards, Melanie Beeman, Glennis Wright, or Rick Friend, you just got a Legal Vices membership, and you have Just a Wombat to thank for that. And I know I was remiss during the month of June, but there will be a July members only chat. I promise. I was a bad little boy in June and we didn't have one. But all right, there we go. Thank you so much. And been there, done that. You get a ship's bell for that. And Just a Wombat, you also get a ship's bell for that. Thank you so much. All right, let's get back into this. Oh, if there's been any false filings of CPS reports, that would be something you would report to the police. File a police report. It's criminal and this is civil. Wink, wink. Ugh. That actually hurt my eye too. I didn't know you could hurt your eye winking hard. All right, let's go.
But it's something that could be relevant and material for the court's consideration. We'll hear about it.
Okay.
So I'm a little
Oh,
cautious.
come on, Judge. You didn't just say that. If he's just made it worse, not just the wink, wink. It might be a crime, wink, wink, that you might wink, wink, want to report to the cops, wink, wink. Now he's saying that if you were to do that wink, wink, it might help your case here. He literally just said that.
This is a civil matter, but it's something that could be relevant and material for the court's consideration. We'll hear about it.
Something you file in the criminal courts could be something material for the court's consideration here. You can't do this, Judge. Judge, you really can't do this. This is not acceptable. I can't tell you how inappropriate this is. It's like an 11 on the inappropriateness scale. Well, see, Clary Richards, see, this is the thing. False CPS reports all around and look legit to me with the kids wandering around with bare feet in the disgusting yard. Well, let's give Lynette the benefit of the doubt here. Or maybe let's not even give her the benefit of the doubt. She files a police complaint against Jeremy Hales for making a false CPS report. The police go, all right, we will investigate this. She goes into the civil court here and she submits documents showing that Jeremy Hales is under investigation for a fraudulent CPS report. The judge goes, well, damn. All right. That's something that I should consider when making this, when there's been no finding of guilt. There's been even no investigation handled. See how dangerous this can be? It doesn't have to actually be a false report to get someone in trouble if someone tries to play the system. There should be fail-safes involved here, such as the judge saying, well, all right, this is just a report. This means nothing. Come back to me with some sort of charge or some sort of, even a charge, he's innocent until proven guilty. So come back with a conviction or something like that. But it's still going to be in the judge's head because you can't unring the bell. Oh, Robert Tower. No.
about it.
Okay.
So I'm a little cautious about thinking that they could serve him on that day at that place.
He's colluding with her to affect service. He's setting him up. They're working together to set him up for service. You can't do this. This is up to the process server. I don't know who does service of process in Florida. Like in Utah, it can pretty much be anyone that's been appointed to do that. To be the person that comes out, you've been served, like you see in TV and stuff like that. I don't know who does. I would assume it's like somebody in law enforcement, maybe, or they may have designated process servers, but this is up to them. It's up to what the judge does is say, okay, serve this. It goes to the bailiff, and then it goes out. The court clerk assigns it to the process server, and the process server goes, all right, now I got to figure out how to serve this. They can't just set it up like this. You can't just have the party and the judge sit down. All right, how can we get him served? Where is he going to be? What time is he going to be there? This is so wrong. I don't understand anything.
We come back on the 11th, but we could try.
Judge Grudge is cautious about me being served. This is the judge that allowed me in front of his face, in his courtroom, to be served illegally in the state of Florida.
I'm here all the time. So October 11 at 1 p.m. Madam Clerk will continue 38-2023 DR 416 for purpose of hearing. 1 p.m. I don't know if we could make some sort of a notation.
Look at me. I'm Judge Grudge. What's up with this? Starting to annoy me. I don't understand why he's doing this, but I really wish it would stop. Now I've got my dogs looking at me like, dude, what the hell is your problem? Sorry to confuse you, Strawberry. I'm sorry to confuse you. I confused my dog.
Not agreed town hall meeting. What time is that on October?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Yeah, put on the description if I don't save them.
And I gave them, they have his address in Otter Creek as well.
Okay.
Okay. Notice there's just a big empty space where Jeremy should be. Jeremy and his lawyer should be in this big empty space over here on the right. Kevin Sheely says you have to show the next two of these. Oh, we will. Don't worry. Probably not today. We might be able to do part of one because we have time. But we're not going to do all three of them today. We'll space them out. Tomorrow, most likely, is when we'll finish up. But Judge, I've just got one thing to say to you, Judge, and you know what that is, Judge. Judge knows what it is.
You are not a nice person.
Judge is not a nice person. All right. We're halfway through this video. What on earth are they going to talk about?
All right, Ms. Preston, if you want to just wait, we'll get you a copy of the notice. Appreciate it.
Otter Creek Town Hall meeting happens, except Lynette's not in charge.
Oh, I guess I have to move myself.
Or my itinerary, no matter how bad she wants to continue to stalk me and think that she can be in charge of it. So I wasn't at Town Hall meeting. And unfortunately, I wasn't there. Really, honestly, wouldn't have mattered anyway. They would have served me. There would not have been enough time to actually go and defend and get a lawyer in court. None of this hearing would not have happened anyway, except it did happen. And so that's what's next.
Next one is 38.
Oh, okay. So I guess we're going to watch the second hearing now. But first, I actually want to take a bit of a diversion here and let someone who is intimately familiar with this case and who is intimately familiar with the laws and court rules in Florida explain a little bit about why what's happened at that last hearing is utterly inappropriate. This is attorney Mark Feather. This is Jeremy Hales' lawyer on his channel, which is the Prohibited Communications, the Unredacted Feather. This is his channel. If you didn't know he has a channel, he does. Go to Unredacted Feather and make sure you subscribe to Mark Feather's channel. He's going to tell us a little bit about why the judge was engaging in prohibited behavior.
Understand some of the important significance of judicial rules and canons, and specifically why ex parte communications are strictly prohibited for a judge to participate.
Now, all right, what's up with these subtitles are doing it again? to make this embiggened here. There, so we can see this. Options, font opacity, window opacity. What on earth? There we go. All right. Is that what we're doing? There, that's good enough.
Paid in. I've decided that it
Strictly prohibited for a judge to participate in.
would be appropriate for me to educate and share.
You call this 15-minute Mark Feather, but don't laugh. This video is almost exactly 15 minutes long.
Regarding some of the critical obligations of judges. The judicial canons of ethics require that all parties, individuals who appear before the court, be treated with respect. All judges must perform the judicial duties impartially and fairly. Any judge who manifests bias in any proceeding that impairs or appears to impair the fairness of the proceedings risk bringing the judiciary, which must be above all these circumstances and drama, into disrepute. So you're welcome. Check out this hearing. It's worth a look. One of the fundamental, in fact, I believe one of the most fundamental rules of a judge, which is absolutely critical with very, very limited exceptions, is that judges not participate in ex parte communications. Ex parte means one party, which means that judges cannot and certainly should not communicate with one party and or their attorney without the other party and or their attorney being present.
You can't say it any more clearly than that.
To be a lawyer who is very diligent. I do not want to have anything catch me by surprise when I'm in a courtroom.
And that's a good point. That's essentially, I mean, amongst just being fair and not appearing, just avoiding the very appearance of bias, you don't want to be surprised with something that was said when you weren't there.
I want to know everything that has ever happened in the case previously or regarding the situation previously. I want to know all the facts and all the information that's available to anybody before I go to trial or even to a hearing. Whether it's a personal injury action or a criminal case, diligence and preparation are key for any lawyer. So what does that mean? Well, you need to know everything that the judge may know or may consider in any case so that you can prepare to deal with it. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you have to have this information so that you know what you need to do to prepare against it. Maybe research law, maybe get additional facts or witnesses, but you have to have knowledge. So the bottom line is that a judge's participation in an ex parte communication in and of itself is a basis upon which a judge should immediately disqualify him or herself from the proceeding.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I was waiting for this to address. Some of you in chat said, well, shouldn't this be enough to get him off? Yes, this should be enough to get him off the case. He has imparted knowledge to Lynette that was not imparted to the Hales side. She has a perceived advantage. Whether or not it's an actual real advantage, she has a perceived advantage now. She's been given information that he doesn't have. That calls the unbiased nature of the judiciary into question, and he should recuse himself from the case immediately for doing so.
It could happen unknowingly, where a judge talks to somebody and they didn't realize this is a litigant before them, and then they find out, well, they should withdraw. If a judge has ex parte, you can learn about these ex parte communications from other sources, and there is plenty of information out there. In fact, I can give you references to articles, but let me just read a little piece of a couple articles that deal with ex parte communications. So this little piece is out of the Judicial Conduct Reporter, a publication that apprises judges and the public about what should and should not be done. And it provides.
I like this. So this is the judge's rule book. How do you get rid of a crooked judge? You ask them to recuse themselves. You ask them to disqualify themselves from the case, and if they reject that, then you appeal up over their head and let the appellate court handle it, which is what is happening here now in this case. The matter is currently being heard and considered by the appellate courts, and they're going to come down with their decision that yes, Judge DeThomasis can stay, or no, he must go. And if they come down with any decision other than Judge DeThomasis must go, I'm probably going to lose my mind. Forget this guy shouldn't be on this case. Judge DeThomasis should not be sitting on any case. He should not be a judge. I know Megan Fox has covered other cases he's done and other things he's been involved in. Guy should not be on the bench. He just shouldn't be there.
Quote, a core provision in the Code of Judicial Conduct, comma, the prohibition on ex parte communications ensures that both sides get the same opportunity to present their case to the judge. Ex parte communications undermined a judge's impartiality and the integrity.
Yes, because Lynette has already had an unfair advantage. She was allowed to present basically testimony that he has tried to undermine or undo her adoption. He's tried to have her child taken away. He's filed false CPS reports. She's been allowed, without him there and given an opportunity to defend himself, to accuse him of these things and to essentially give witness testimony without being sworn in, without following the proper rules, without supplementing with any claim supporting evidence whatsoever. That's an inherently, fundamentally unfair position to allow her to testify like this. It's the more I think about it, the more ridiculous it gets in my head. And Renee Ward has been a member for 2 months. Thank you so much. I have not seen this one from Mark Feather yet. I'll definitely have to rewatch later when not at work. Please do. Please rewatch again and again and again. Watch hours.
Communications undermined a judge's impartiality and the integrity of the judicial process. The excluded party, that is the party who didn't participate in this communication, will feel, rightfully so, that his or her opponent has gained an unfair advantage,
Absolutely.
regardless of whether the judge was swayed or not.
Absolutely.
And even the most conscientious judge may subtly and unknowingly be influenced by even seemingly innocuous ex parte contacts, and the prohibition applies regardless of how well intentioned the judge may be.
And see, that's one thing that he made mention of just towards the beginning of what we were watching. The judge may not even know they're being unconsciously influenced by this. They might think they're above it, but again, how would you feel? You people in chat, all 418 of you, how would you feel if you had someone making these charges against you? You hadn't even been served. You likely didn't even know there was a hearing going on, let alone that you were supposed to attend. Nobody told you formally and officially that there's a hearing and you should be there. So you're just minding your own business. And then you learn through your lawyer or through another channel that there was a hearing held the other day. And at that hearing, this person made accusations that you tried to undo an adoption. You tried to have their children taken away, that you are stalking them, that you are committing the crime of filing false CPS reports. And how would you feel if this just came out of the blue and said some woman who was not sworn in, who has not provided any evidence in support of her claims, just went into court and started telling this to the judge? You'd lose your mind. So, I'm getting worked up.
Now, obviously, the more facts, the more drama, the more sensitive information or evidence that the judge may receive ex parte, the greater the risk of apparent bias. Mm-hmm. In addition, in an ex parte communication, a judge may receive inaccurate or incomplete information that might easily be corrected if both sides
Yeah.
had been there. Right?
Exactly.
It's a huge danger, and it's part of the basis of our primary system, of our legal system and our adversarial system. Both sides need to be able to participate.
Absolutely.
So fundamental is the principle that the judge's ex parte communication may lead to reversal of a judgment. A judgment may be reversed because of an ex parte communication. And the rules of professional conduct also bar an attorney. So I can't even go to a judge, and rightfully so, an attorney from communicating ex parte with a judge. So the Code of Judicial Conduct provides, quote, a judge shall not initiate, permit, or consider ex parte communications or consider
pretty
any other
straightforward.
communications made to the judge outside of the presence of the parties or their lawyers.
So you saw this if you're following the Laura Owens and Clayton Eckerd case. You saw this, what an example of what he's talking about. It's not just a hearing like this. You can't have any communication with the judge that the other side isn't a party to, which is like in the Laura Owens. You saw it when she sent Clayton Eckerd's lawyer Greg Woodnick, when he was representing a previous client in a very, very similar matter, a letter saying, dear judge, I don't know how to get this letter to you without the other side knowing about it. I don't know how to keep this communication private and confidential with you, court. So I'm sending you this email that says, he did all these horrible things. The judge just went, all right, forwarded the email to the other side because he has to. You're not allowed to send private emails to the judge. The judge is just obligated to forward them on without comment to the other side. So this is what he's talking about here. It's not just in hearings. It's you just can't have any conversation. If you send an email, it's going to get sent to the other side. That's all there is to it.
Concerning any pending or impending matter. That rule is contained in Canon 3B, subparagraph 7, 3B7 of the 1990 American Bar Association Model Code of Judicial Conduct. It also appears in Rule 2.9A of the 2007 Model Code.
What does that say?
And illustrates the age of this article. This has been the law forever.
Basically,
laws, as we have discussed on this channel before.
No, legitimately, hundreds of years. Okay. During one of his cuts, someone came and took a book out. That's sort of starting to bother the little bit of OCD that I have in my script. This missing book is now annoying me. But no ex parte communications with the judge. We're talking hundreds of years. It's been around. It's not a new thing.
It came from England, and we, the United States, brought over the common law when we left England. We adopted it, and now it includes not only case law or common law, but also statutory now and case law. Louisiana is an exception, as they don't observe case law.
Louisiana's weird.
From the French. So, but the idea of ex parte communications, even in France, has been around forever under the common law and hopefully everywhere else in the world. Fortunately, our system is an adversarial system. And the idea being that if you have two people on both, or a person on each side of an argument presenting their case as adversaries, that the truth ultimately will come out. And that's the job of a judge or a jury, to hear both sides presented adversarially, and then the court or the jury, as a finder of fact, determines which side is right after applying it to the law. Now, juries, of course, just do the facts. But in the event a person who just shows up and tells a judge a story about what the other side has done, or what do you think that judge, even the very best judge, my goodness, judges are human beings, and we are blessed with some of the great judges in our country for sure. But how do you think they're impacted if one side were to be able to show up and tell their story, and the other side didn't get to hear it and didn't get to tell theirs, or even show the judge what was wrong about what the other?
That's what I just said.
That would create a travesty, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and we've just witnessed that that travesty, which is also a tragedy, a judicial tragedy. That travesty just happened. We watched someone not sworn in just come in and start filling the judge's head full of these unsubstantiated stories without the subject of those stories being in the courtroom or even aware the courtroom thing is happening in order for them to provide contrary evidence or arguments. It's I won't say it's unheard of, but it should be unheard of.
So judges are prohibited from calling people's names. They're accusing from accusing lawyers of wrongdoing, or accusing litigants of wrongdoing, inappropriate.
Which is another line that you could argue that DeThomasis has come close to crossing over, or maybe even has crossed over. Some of the things he said about Jeremy during the subsequent hearings that we've already watched.
And they are required, all judges, to follow the law, particularly with regard to ex parte communications. I just continue to be beside myself at the idea that any judge might decide that it was appropriate to do so. And you know, I trust that you have seen my channel, and you know that I don't get upset very easily, by God's grace. But we kind of started this channel with the idea of exposing some of the injustices that happen in our justice system, our legal system. As I was beginning to prepare for this video, I was wearing a shirt that said God's Army. And so it is my intention to continue to stand up for what is true, what is right, what is light, and what is of God. What has happened in Jeremy's case is an absolute injustice. I will tell you.
Oh, geez! What was that, Feather? Oh God! All right, relax there. Don't. Mark, can I know? I know you're new to the YouTube thing, Mr. Feather. I know you're new to the YouTube thing, but I've only been doing it 2 years, but can I make one small suggestion? If I may be so bold and presumptuous as to make one small suggestion to you, Mark Feather, no jump scares in your video. Your legal videos should not have jump scares in them. Oh, that made my face hurt. All right. All right, Mark, that was good. I like that. we've got the Mark Feather jump scare coming up here again. I want to watch that again. That was good. Oh, I think that's the first time I've really smiled all day. Okay.
That happened in our justice system, our legal system. As I was beginning to prepare for this video, I was wearing a shirt that said God's Army. And so it is my intention to continue to stand up for what is true, what is right, what is light, and what is of God. What has happened in Jeremy's case is an absolute
jump scare coming up.
I will tell you this. When Jeremy hired me, I agreed to go with him to this one hearing, and it was our.
That was good. I really liked that. That was fun. You're a good man, Mark Feather. You're doing the Lord's work.
Intention to get that hearing done. That hearing was scheduled for November 29th, 2023. We were so desperate to get this case resolved that we were willing to go on into the evening, and we're even willing to waive our right to some evidence we probably had the right to get. We wanted to get this over behind Jeremy so that it didn't go on any longer.
And it should have been
what
over.
Happened, it's still going. And I'll let you ask yourself, why in the world could that be? How could this, I think you've heard it said that, frequently 5 to 10 of these injunctions or hearings are heard in one single afternoon.
Yeah.
It's not unusual for several to be resolved. How can it be that this one has gone on for months and months?
Not months and months, dude. We are coming up on a year. A year that they've been trying to decide whether or not to finally grant this injunction or to let it die away naturally. We're coming up on a year that this has been in the courts. That is absurd. This should have been done. She files she gets the temporary injunction. They have a hearing 2 weeks later. You spend 15, 20 minutes giving if any of you have watched like Judge Manning or some of these other judges, Judge Simpson, on the other court channels, they do these restraining orders all the time. You get in there, the one side says nah, 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 the other side says blah 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 blah, and the judge goes, all right, we're going to keep it in place for 1 year, or there's no grounds for it, it's dismissed. This has been going on for a year,
and months and months. It just does not seem just.
It's not just.
I want you to
part of his injunction order was to take away his firearms. He's been stripped of his Second Amendment rights indefinitely without any finding, without any permanent finding, without any evidentiary finding that there are grounds for him to be stripped of his constitutional right. It is an injustice.
Go back. If you look, you'll see, and I may have said this already in this video. So I can't tell you where this thing ends, this nightmare that Jeremy and George, frankly, are caught up in. But we're going to be moving on from that because of the dangers associated with it. So Jeremy has asked me to talk about the arrest of John Cook, who he calls Crook, and what's going to happen with that case. As you might know, he was just arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
And that's exactly all I know. And we'll be covering that either tomorrow or early next week.
I believe that happened as a result of a warrant that was issued. And I know that Jeremy has posted the first appearance video where the judge set the bond at $75,000. So anyway, there will be a lot to cover on this. I'm probably going to give you some background about, how did he get to this far? Members only perks. So I thank you so much for helping us become monetized.
Hey, congratulations.
Committed that we'll give at least 50% of any profits. Now we're ways from making a profit. That's okay. But at least 50% of any profits will go to the mission field. Elsie and I have made that commitment, and that's what's going to happen. So God willing, that will come to be a one day. One of the things that they're suggesting is they have kind of trying to, YouTube does a great job of encouraging you to promote yourself and wants actually you to see you be successful.
Well, don't be so sure YouTube wants you to be successful. They just want their money, and they're not always on your side. Just saying. All right, so that is Mark Feather himself explaining from a local lawyer's perspective why what we just witnessed was an absolute travesty, was an absolute injustice, was something that was egregious enough that the judge should immediately recuse himself from the case. And this is day one, and now we're a year on. and the appellate courts are finally going to decide whether this judge needs to be ripped off this case, or whether through some weird, incomprehensible, twisted logic, he gets to stay on the case. There's a place in New York called Wyoming. Huh. Well, my family's from the real Wyoming, not the one in New York. Didn't know there was a Wyoming, New York. Anywho, I'm sorry. Just how do you choke on air? Trust me to find out a way to choke on air. Where are we at here? So yeah, Renee Ward, we mentioned too. You've been a member for 2 months. I've not seen this one from Mark Feather yet. I'll definitely have to rewatch later when not at work. Thank you. Vince Clortho has been a member for 13 months. What's up, brother man? Good to see you here. Just a wombat, 2 thumbs up. And Aussie Just Jen, we got our Aussie contingent here. Aussie Just Jen, Florida wouldn't even recognize the restraining order from Ohio against Lynette and Crook. Well, it's not that Florida wouldn't recognize the restraining order. It's that this judge wouldn't recognize it. I would find it safe to bet that every other lawyer would honor the full faith and credit requirements of restraining orders and upheld it and enforced it in Florida. This judge has the problem with it. This judge is the problem. But well, I guess we've got the second hearing here just to start. And that should take us right up to the end of the show. This is the second hearing. They rescheduled it, because he was going to be for the October 11th of last year, I guess, because he was supposed to be at the town meeting on the 10th. They colluded to serve him there. Well, let's see how this goes down. Oh, before we do that again, we got 424 concurrent viewers and 431 likes. Thank you so much. How are we doing on our like and subscribe poll? Remember, please, hit that like button and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would just be tickled and honored and just thrilled if you would do me the kindness of subscribing to the channel. We're following the in-court parts of the Hales saga. We're covering things like Laura Owens and Clayton Eckerd. We just finished watching the Alec Baldwin trial. We do the trials. We do retro trials every Thursday, going back in time and looking at some older cases. And we do other things, social media law related issues, election related stuff. We do everything here. We're a great channel, and I would just be thrilled if you would join me for the ride. Please do that. And then once you have hit that like button, once you have subscribed, or if you already are subscribed and you've already double checked to make sure you are still subscribed, then please take our like and subscribe poll, which is right over here. Vote in this. See, now we're back to the normal part. Now we got 481 votes and only 437 likes, which means we've got about 40 some odd cheaters here. Get down there and hit that like button. All right, today's like and subscribe poll, which is simply a lame little poll we try to do every day to remind you to like and subscribe. What is the theme song for today? Huey Lewis, I Want a New Judge. Metallica, Master of Tortoises. B-52's Shit Shack, and Alice Cooper's No More Mr. Nice Person. Currently 34% of you, I Want a New Judge with Huey Lewis. And in second place is Shit Shack by the B-52s. And tied for third place at 18% each is Master of Tortoises by Metallica and the classic Alice Cooper hit, No More Mr. Nice Person. All right, that is it. Ooh, that was kind of weird. That was almost a flashback to my radio days. Ooh, yeah, it gave me some tingles to be talking actual singer names. Ooh, kind of raised the goosebumps. All right. Gee, it felt like I was back in the radio studio, back in the good old days in the late 80s and early 90s. Sweet. All right, people. Let's see what happens in hearing number 2, shall we? Exactly, Joe Choi. Oh, Bad Duck, just under the wire with the like/subscriber. I start biting ankles. Arr. You don't want to be bit on the ankle by a bad duck. I don't know exactly how painful that is, but I have been nipped once or twice by a normal goose and by a Canadian goose, and they actually surprisingly hurt. So I assume a duck would be slightly less painful, but you know.
2023 DR 416. This is Lynette Preston and Jeremy Hales.
Ladies and germs, we have a What the Hales sighting. Thank you for your wisdom and support, Legal Vices. We appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you too. Thank you very much for being here, Hales family. We're glad to have you. We're just getting ready to start hearing number 2. So, so let's see what mistakes the judge learned from and rectified here during the second hearing.
We have Ms. Preston. Good afternoon.
All right, people. What's wrong with the picture? What's wrong with the picture? Apparently, Jeremy has not yet been served. Despite their efforts at the last hearing to collude and plot and plan to have him served, he's apparently not been served. Let's find out. Oh dear, what could the matter be? What might be amiss in this? I have not seen 1 second of this hearing. Like I said, I watched a few minutes of the previous hearing before we showed it, but I haven't watched a single second of the second hearing. So let's see what happened.
If you can just announce your presence by stating your full name.
Lynette Michelle Lacey Alexis Preston.
Wait, what? She's gained several names there in the past few weeks. Like I said, the first hearing in episode 1 in the he said, "What's your full name?" He said, my name is Lynette Preston. Now it's Lynette Michelle Lacey Alexis Preston. So we do believe, and as best as I understand, Lacey may have been her stripper name. But anywho, she's let the hair down. She appears to have dyed it a bit, and she's unbraided it. She's set the mane free. I believe it's the same shirt. Anyway.
Good afternoon, Ms. Preston. This is a matter that, for the record, 9/7/23, petition was filed for protection against stalking. We came to court on September 13th, extended the order setting hearing through October 11. And as of today, we still have the same issue, which is no service.
All right. So what did we learn from my discussion of the first hearing and from the I won't say lecture, from the video of Mark Feather that we watched? What have we learned? Right now, the judge should shut this down. All right. We have the same problem. We were unable to affect service. So we got to try it again. I know you said that he had his address in Ohio, but we tried to, and we have his address here. We tried to jump him at the town hall meeting, and that didn't seem to work. So we got to try it again. This is where the hearing ends. This is legitimately it. This is where the hearing ends. Not another word should pass this judge's lips other than we have to try again. We will make another effort to effect service. And in view of that, we will schedule the next hearing to take place, a month from today or whatever. And that should be it. And I don't know if Florida probably doesn't like, I'm not even finished the sentence because I would be surprised if it did. All right. That was just me having a little inner dialogue out here with you guys. All right, let's go.
And let me just check here.
He's having a fall festival on October 20th.
Shut up. Nobody asked you. No. And the judge should cut her off. The judge should cut her off and say, no, 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 no. The other side is not here. I don't know if he's having a fall festival. That's not my problem. That's not my concern. Shh. We're not going to. All right. I'm repeating exactly what I said for the first hearing.
First here in Otter Creek. Otherwise, we need to try and serve him in Ohio.
Otherwise,
What's this we stuff? No, seriously. Seriously, she just told the judge, we have to serve him. That ain't how this works, babe. You ain't a team with the judge. Well, I mean, okay. Let's not get crazy here. You shouldn't be a team with the judge. You and the judge should not be a team. Whether you are, in fact, sort of a quasi team, an argument could be made, but you shouldn't be. So we need to serve him. No. The court, she needs to say, you need to serve him. You need to do it. Not that we need to do it. You ain't on the judge's team, Lynette. Jack's mom in the house. What's up, Jack's mom? How many times can she appear without him being served? As many times as it takes to get him served. Now, if it becomes, again, I don't know what the rules in Florida are, but in some places, if it becomes apparent that the other party is actively seeking to avoid service, in a lot of instances, you can affect service through publication in a newspaper. I'm sure you may have seen in like the classified ad section, there's usually like a legal section that says so-and-so there's a hearing set this day. It's because they're actively avoiding service, or there's an unknown address or something like that. So basically, you don't have a hearing until the guy's in court. And if at some point you're able to serve it through a newspaper article or something for advertisement or something like that, then you presume he's seen it, and then you can go ahead. But yeah, we're not there yet. This is the second time. We haven't even started getting there yet. But this whole we stuff, that's for the birds.
What?
We need to try and serve him in Ohio.
No. No. Again with the we.
He, out of retaliation, went to an Ohio court, and I had to go to court with him yesterday. He perjured himself and alleged that.
Oh my God! Stop this woman. This is the unfair prejudice. This is the unfair bias that we've been talking about. Here she is, not sworn in as a witness, not presenting any evidence. He's not there to refute this, but she's just allowed to sit there and tell the judge, well, he committed perjury in this case. No, you can't do this. And the judge should shut this down instantaneously, because this is absolutely improper. Not in the least for her, but mostly for the judge. It's utterly improper for him to allow her to do this, to make these statements. Again, you put yourself in Jeremy's position. You haven't been served. You're not there. And then suddenly later you find out that there was this woman that was alleging you perjured yourself, and she's been talking shit about you, and you didn't have a chance to counter it or present evidence or anything else, and it's been sitting in the judge's head for God knows how long. Inappropriate.
I was doing all this to him instead of him doing it to me. I need an ex parte order.
You got one. You get the temporary order. The temporary injunctions or temporary restraining orders are ridiculously easy to get, because the judge has to take what you're saying as the truth, without really any support at all. They just have to accept whatever you're saying is truth to give you the temporary deal. And then, like you said, usually, like we said, usually within 15 days, within 2 weeks, they will schedule a hearing. Go, all right, we gave you the temporary one just based on your statement. Now's the time to appear in court within 2 weeks with all of your evidence while we decide. And I'll look at all the evidence you present and I'll listen to the other side. And I will decide, do we cancel this restraining order or do we make it permanent? And that's the void that Jeremy has been in for dang near a year at this point. So, yeah.
She's not a stalker, though, right? Except she literally just tells the judge, he's doing this at this time, at this place, the fall festival, which I was not there for, unfortunately, because we didn't have our finalized orders from Ohio yet. But what we do have is text messages that Lynette sent residents of Otter Creek asking them to purchase items that they saw on the video. So she doesn't watch any videos, yet we have all the proof through her text messages because the woman literally does not know how to shut her mouth, proving that she watches everything and she stalks every word I literally say.
It really is unfair.
She tries to actually look like George.
Did you appear in court yesterday?
Via Zoom, yes.
Okay. And
They're not making a determination because my ex-husband, his hearing is now the 13th
here or where?
in Ohio via Zoom.
So, all right, let me just make sure I got the players straight here.
Judge, there's no reason for you to make sure you've got the players straight here. There's no reason for you to be saying another word.
Mr. Hales, the respondent in this case, is a petitioner in an Ohio case where you're the respondent.
After mine, yes.
And your former husband as well?
Yes,
Okay.
for retaliation for doing this.
Mm.
And he's still posting about us, still doing the stuff that he's doing.
This was Craig DeThomasis outright.
No.
Any competent judge would have been like, something's not lining up here. You're in court in Ohio. And ultimately, I'm sure he was going to look back on this moment. We already know he watches. We have confirmation of that, which he legally should not be watching.
Yeah.
And yet, at the same time, he's probably...
That's what we talked about at the beginning when she said he's a YouTuber. And he said, yes, I know. I only half jokingly suggested that perhaps he should not be watching the videos. It would be highly improper for him to do so. But if you're there, hey, Judge, what's up?
Regretting ever allowing any of this to come before his court, because ultimately, I truly believe this is going to cost him his job. The voters are going to speak against his biased, illegal corruption.
So was your case heard and the court take it under advisement, or was the court saying that you're going to return on another date?
It was heard.
Okay.
And she's going to make a determination on it later, but I don't know how to defend myself. I wasn't really.
I know how you can defend yourself. Get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. That's how you defend yourself. You get one. You got a big old Jeep Gladiator. Sell it. Get yourself a lawyer. Just a suggestion.
Allowed. I sent her 2 packets of stuff, of evidence.
Oh, the
and
packets.
She didn't accept any of it.
Yeah. We've seen, I believe we've seen that hearing where she gave the judge the 2 packets. And if it's the same hearing, the judge basically said, well, I'm not just going to take these. You go through the proper. Did you go through the proper channels? Did you submit them through the proper channels on time? No. Okay. Well, that's not my problem. The Ohio judge, she runs a much tighter ship. She's much more in control of her courtroom and she follows the rules. It's like if that's the same hearing that I remember watching from Ohio, that was, I mean, the judge said, did you do it timely? Did you do it by this deadline? Did you do it in the proper way? Nope. All right, not my problem. Not going to consider it. But she eventually did say, look, if you get them to me on a thumb drive by this certain date, I'll take a look at them. So this is a little bit twisted from what the actual facts were. All right. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about getting political in chat. Just don't argue about it. Just don't get into political fistfights.
She said she didn't get one of them, but
So, I mean,
This is what really gets me. The ridiculousness of, I couldn't defend myself. She had every opportunity to defend herself. She's the one that put herself in this situation. Now she wants to claim that she's a victim. She's not a victim except of herself.
Because
She's
it's Lynette,
receiving the
Mary Jane.
consequences of her actions. She should have never done what she did and stalked us here. She should have never posted what she posted. She should have never put signs up all around town. These two, Crook already in jail, Lynette probably not far behind, are only receiving their due diligence of what they've done to others their entire life. And now you want to play games and fake cry?
I can't address that case
I
for which
know.
I have no jurisdiction.
Oh, Mary Jane, you sweet summer child. What does her kid have? Her kid's got a lot of things, allegedly. I'm serious. The best thing that you could ever do in your life right now, well, not right now, after the show's over, go back in my What the Hales playlist, start at the first video and just watch it through. Catch up on the lore. There's so much lore here that it's surprising.
Jurisdiction
I know.
and
All right, we need to do
it was
this.
retaliatory against us.
you have, I would presume, pretty for sure, appellate remedies in case, but there's not a ruling, there's not a final order in that
Not
case.
yet.
Is what you're saying.
Why are you giving her legal advice? Why are you giving her legal counsel on what would, not only should you not be doing that because you're a judge and you have no business or place doing this, you certainly have no right to do it in relation to an Ohio proceedings unless you happen to be licensed to practice law in the state of Ohio. But even then you're trumped by the fact that you're a judge and you should just keep your judicial trap shut. This is multiple layers of impropriety here.
Okay.
Make it, yes.
With regards to your former husband, his other case is like based on similar facts or allegations?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So with regards to your case here, it's just a matter of service, and we went through that discussion.
Yes.
Yes, you did go through this discussion, as a matter of fact, a few weeks before at the first hearing. She said she has his address in Ohio. Judge, why didn't you try to have him served in Ohio? That's on you. That's on you, Judge.
Got to be served. If he chooses not to appear, it'll be a default. But there's, and I'm sure it's all the Otter Creek 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 attempts to serve.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here and he avoided, he did not come.
For those who have been following the story for quite some time, we were waiting for our civil protection orders from the Ohio courts, which we received. Then we immediately went to Florida, to the sheriff's station, where we were stalked the very moment we went into Levy County, stalked by Lynette and Crook, both of which were found guilty for violation of the civil protection orders in Ohio, which they now, 1 week from this filming date, have to be present yet again. I'm sure Crook will be present via Zoom from his jail cell.
And so what is the October 21 date you're mentioning?
He's having a fall festival at his school thing. He's announcing it, and in the announcements, he's torturing my tortoise rescues.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
He's torturing in his guys. I don't even know what this means. In his announcements for his fall festival, he's torturing my tortoise rescue. What, what does that even mean? I mean, I don't want to call BS on this because I just have no idea what that even means. But if I were to get an announcement from someone in town inviting me to a fall festival, and part of the announcement was that person torturing tortoises, I would think that was like some horror movie. If you remember the old, okay, most of you were probably way too young to remember. There was this old horror show with Betty Davis in it called Harvest Home or something like that. It kind of reminds me of that. There's like Children of the Corn or something. I probably wouldn't go if there was an announcement inviting me someplace and that announcement included people torturing tortoises or something. I don't know. Oh, there's cans of turtle soup. Oh no, that's funny.
Putting cans of soup with a turtle on it. He's calling me Lynette. They're selling T-shirts.
Oh, they're selling T-shirts, not T-shirts. Oh, they're selling T-shirts. Two awesome dogs. Jeff, Lynette's lawyer, never filed a notice of representation, and he failed to also file with Florida jail, so John Crook didn't attend last Friday. Well, it sounds like there may have been some oversights. I don't know about that yet. Hopefully we'll get hopefully the videos for that will be released, and we'll be able to provide our comment on that at the appropriate time. But that sounds about par for the course. Let's just see what happens. They're selling T-shirts. T-shirts, Your Honor, T-shirts.
Oh no, I called her Lynette. I actually protected her identity.
I didn't know Jeremy would continue with my fake whiny voice. That's funny.
Online. Yet she went out and broadcasted all of her names and all of her garbage everywhere. So calling her Lynette actually protected our identity. Oh no, turtle soup! As she's continued to cook those turtles.
Oh, Baby Jane is a good movie too.
And they continue to pass away. T-shirts! Oh no, how dare I make T-shirts? Oh, well, I have purposefully not made a cent off of anything of this.
The full title of the movie is a 1978 TV miniseries. I remember watching it and having the crap scared out of me. It was starring Betty Davis, called The Dark Secret of Harvest Home. That was a pretty good scary show. It had like Betty Davis, Dan Aykroyd, Rosanna Arquette, Renee Auberjonois, who played Odo in Deep Space Nine, or the butler in was it Webster? He played a butler in some show. But anyway, so yeah, it's got a great cast and it was scary as hell. So that it would just kind of remind me that someone could come to our Harvest Home Festival. Here's pictures of us torturing tortoises. I'd probably leave it. Benson, that's right. Yeah, he was a butler in Benson.
Ridiculousness.
Benson was the butler. He was the was he a judge? Anyway, he was a judge or a mayor or somebody. But anyway, it's not important. Let's go.
In my life in Otter Creek with stalkers, Lynette and Crook, I could have made a mint off of T-shirts, and I've yet to sell anything.
It's an audio thing. Oh, cool.
So it's
Hope he does this.
October 21st.
In your community, in Levy County and Otter Creek.
Yes.
So we can go through this again here. Basically, that's 10 days away. I could schedule a court date.
He's the governor
to that.
He's the butler.
And we can make notice, like where would be the location of this? You're saying it's at his home or his property?
Our schoolhouse.
Judge, why are you talking about this with her? Shut up. Both of you just shut up here.
What's the name of the schoolhouse?
Russell, do you know the address?
Objection!
Somehow like 24 about the
Why on earth is she? Okay, the judge should not be saying this stuff. The judge should not be allowing her to say this stuff. And what's Russell got to do with it? What's Rust the Sauce got to do with this? Oh my God, what is going on here?
town. I don't know the actual number.
It's on Highway 24.
This is beautiful. Now, Rust the Sauce there
Hey,
is
that's
already
what I
in
just
a
called
huge
him.
amount of trouble.
Oh, see, that's what I just called him, because that's what he was talking about at the beginning. I think we've started something.
With the Ethics Committee, Tallahassee. But not only that, he's being deposed for federal court. And then based on his deposition, legal action is going to be taken against him as well, because he's been there in the court. He has illegally been texting Lynette in the court. And this just gets better and better. This is the first time I saw it. I saw it as you just saw it. This is incredible.
And the name of the schoolhouse?
Used to be the Ark.
Ark?
Yes. He bought it.
Why are they talking
I
about
brought
this?
Mr. Meeks because it's also happening to him.
And that your expectation is that he should be present at that time.
Yes, he's running it.
Ugh.
Let me see what address we have. The address that we have for Otter Creek is also a residence of his here
Yes.
from time to time? Okay.
And I
Why?
provided the one in Ohio.
Why don't she's already provided you with the address in Ohio? Why didn't you use it and try to have him served there instead of trying to wait to jump him at a town hall meeting? And now you're going to try to jump him at a fall festival thing. Why don't you just try to have it served through the proper service of process channels in Ohio at the address that she gave you last hearing?
IO2, in case they have to try and serve him there.
So our next date subsequent to the October 21 date would be October 26. So almost every time we always meet on Wednesday, but that's a Thursday that week. So it'd be Thursday, October 26 at 1 p.m.
Okay.
If you're requesting, the court would grant a continuance of the order.
What if you're requesting? Did she request? No, shut up. You're not her lawyer, no matter how much you may want to be.
Setting hearing to return on October 26 at 1 p.m. And then, Madam Clerk, we have the address of his residence in Otter Creek when he's there, but he hasn't been there. And if we could just make some note that the expectation he may be present on October 21 at the formerly known as Ark Schoolhouse, Highway 24, Otter Creek.
That's right. Yeah, you can get paper served
Law
anywhere.
enforcement, some
You can get
information
notarizations
can
anywhere
go
too.
on.
They know where it is. Yeah.
Okay.
They're aware.
Oh my God.
All right. So I'm going to get you here in order in just a moment. I'll see you on October 26.
Okay.
And so what, I know you want to be ready to resolve let me look right now, actually.
He was offered a resolution
Objection!
that we both would agree to not say anything about each other. But because I'm a paycheck to him, he said no.
You're a paycheck to him, are you? Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think so.
I would have been absolutely for that. I don't want contact with him at all.
Except she still continues to do it to this day, even though there's a civil protection order, even though she's been found guilty of violating it. She still has not stopped.
So you're saying there was a discussion about a settlement
I move for a bad court thingy.
You mean a mistrial?
Yeah.
offer type thing?
Yes,
Okay.
the judge offered it and
So-
he said no.
That's his prerogative.
I know.
He'll be here in court, hopefully, after service, and we can have that discussion. It may be.
So why are you having it now?
Depending on, because I know you've got what you're representing is, evidence, it may be that we are going to discuss when he avails himself of the court process, what kind of time frame to get it scheduled for a trial date rather than on a docket like this. And we might just set a time certain, a date certain to do that.
Okay,
Okay.
yes.
But I'll see you on the 26th. I'll sign an order here in just a moment.
Okay.
You're now in contempt of court.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Wow. All right. That was different than I expected today. It was that evidence. Oh my gosh. Hey, look, I found Waldo. Waldo's leaving the courtroom. I found Waldo. Oh wow. That was bad. Now see, now I'm glad that I put the thumbnail, The Rise of the Grudge, because this is like the Phantom Menace of this court. This is episode 1. We started with episode 4, A New Hope, and we watched that all the way through Return of the Tortoises. And then we had to go back, and now we're watching the prequels. We started the Phantom Menace. The Rise of the Grudge is coming. This is bad. Just based on this, I completely agree with Mark Feather that just based on the first trial, the first hearing thing that we saw, wasn't even a hearing, the first non-hearing that we just watched, he should have recused himself. He should have disqualified himself from the case immediately. The whole ex parte thing was absolutely improper. We can't harp on that enough, and I know I've beat that thing to death, but that's kind of where we're going to wrap it up here today, I think, on Judge Palpatine. I have an idea for tomorrow's thumbnail. All right. I hope I remember that long enough. All right. Hey, everybody, we're going to shut this down here right now for today. We're going to shut this down for today, and we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to continue this. We've still got, I understand there's still one more hearing, and then we've got to take a look at the John Crook stuff. We got to look at his arrest and whatever else has happened. And for now, that should probably catch us up on the in-court proceedings. We'll continue to bring you the in-court saga as it develops. But what we've got planned out, we're going to do this tomorrow. We'll do some more What the Hales tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we will do our retro trial again. It's Florida v. Donald Hartung it's a case from 2020 involving a murder that took place, 3 murders that took place in 2015. The defendant is the half-brother of 2 of the victims and the son of one of the victims, and he's been charged with the ritualistic witchcraft slayings of his mother and 2 half-brothers. We're following that. And then on Friday will be our F It Friday, where we just say F it. It's a grift. It's a grift for money is really all it is. Friday, join their Friday. That's when we just it's just a boozy griftathon. You know, you throw all your money at me and I take a shot for every $100 that comes. It's all in good fun. We have a great panel of guests on. We talk about legal things and it usually devolves into shenanigans before too long. So don't miss that. We'll start putting up the guest list probably tomorrow. That'll be on Friday, and then next Monday will be Maritime Monday, where we'll talk about a maritime case. Until tomorrow, guys, mods. I just want you to know that we have the poll up here that we need to look at. Like and subscribe. This is your last chance to subscribe for today during this. And if you're on the replay crew and you're watching this, please subscribe too. Hit the subscribe button. As always, if you have hit the subscribe button, double check to make sure you still are, and make sure you engage that like button an odd number of times. We currently have 327 people here, 493 likes. Let's get us up to 500 likes. We can do that. And I'd like 500 subscribers too, please. And our like and subscribe poll, we're going to shut down now. What is the theme song for today? Tied for third place is Metallica, Master of Tortoises, and Alice Cooper, No More Mr. Nice Person. I still like that.
You are not a nice person.
Alice Cooper, No More Mr. Nice Person. In second place with 30% of the vote is Shit Shack by the B-52s. And in first place with a full 34% of the vote is Huey Lewis, I Want a New Judge. Thank you for voting in the poll. We're going to shut that down right now. And I'll have to get creative and think of a new poll for tomorrow. But mods, thank you so much for doing a super good job as mods, as always. And chat, thank you so much for the super chats, the gifted memberships, the purchase memberships, the monthly membership chats. And thank you for just being here in chat, doing your chatty best, keeping each other entertained, keeping me entertained, and hopefully I entertained you a little bit. We'll be back tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, for more of the What the Hales in Court saga. Until then, peace, oot, as they say in Canada.